Yeah, that's a good point to turn to the hosting sites. So I don't know if Russ got a phone call. Russ, are you still with us?
Oh,
Okay,
no, I'm
yay.
here. Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
good.
hey.
So why don't you share a little bit with, you had mentioned Anchor in the beginning, but maybe reiterate why you chose that one and how you found working with it.
Okay. It was the night before, I guess, the shutdown was beginning, and Anchor sent me a thing and said, "Start a podcast." And it was so easy. And I don't know. I'm really sold on Anchor for those beginners like I am, because I have such a limited knowledge of tech. But honestly, from your easy chair in your phone, you can do Anchor, and it the software, it makes sense. The steps, first you record, and because mine are so short of maybe 10 minutes, if I really make a mistake, rather than trying to master editing, I hit delete and start over. If I think I'm in a mess. So I practice a few times, and then you save it to the library, and then you can pick about 50 different kinds of music. If you want a cheerful, if you want curious, ominous, dramatic, and the music is kind of fun. And I found an icon that I liked, that was glasses and a book, dark glasses. But Spotify does a better job of organizing your podcast than this Anchor does. Spotify will number the episodes, and do the taglines for you, so it looks really neat. And then, like I said, Apple picked up Spotify, and I'm not even sure the others, but the main ones are Apple and Spotify. But a lot of my members don't do podcasts, but I can post it to Facebook, and they can just click on the Anchor link or the podcast link, and they can hear it from the Facebook page.
Great. And then Bevel, you were going to talk a little bit about, I guess it's called Libsyn. Is that it?
Yeah, Libsyn. So that's one that a lot of professional podcasters use, and there are certain sort of pay categories so that you can track more than what you're initially seeing. In my previous podcast, Parent Pastor, we were able to discover by tracking how many downloads certain episodes got, and that was not just over time, because it tracks that as well, but within maybe having a catchy title or just a subject that resonated. So two things that stuck out for us was we covered VBS one time, and a lot of people were interested in that topic. And one of the things we did for Variety was we sort of kidded or joked on kid shows, just kind of as a parent. Like, there are some silly kid shows. I mean, we know it's for kids, but by seeing that, we're able to see, oh, wow, people like hearing this. It's shorter than our normal episodes. And so that was a running thing that we did. We would, review and rate different kid shows as well as movies. So for whatever content you're putting out, Libsyn, while you have to pay for it, is helpful in seeing how that content is tracking with your audience and with new people. Initially and over time. Another easy thing with that is that if you have other hosts, someone sets it up and then you just share the password. And so, for example, we had 3 and then we got up to 4 different hosts. We just rotated for however many months who paid for that time period. So it's a good tool to use.
Wait a minute. I want to jump in on this real quick. Your co-host helped pay for something?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope
did.
Jeremy's watching this.
Didn't he buy a microphone stand?
Yeah, he bought a $9 microphone stand. Yeah.
See, give him some credit.
Hey, that's it.
And to be clear, didn't Bill do all the research, and he just had to add it to the cart, right?
So
Come on now, let's not give him too much trouble. We all have parts to play.
That's right. David, I know you did quite a bit of research on different hosting sites. What would you add into this conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. And Caleb, I'm going to get you to help me out on this as I tell you. The top 5 free web hosting sites are Anchor, and Anchor is good, and they were just bought by Spotify. So Anchor, and then Buzzsprout, Podbean is a very good one, Podiant, and Sprecher are all pretty good web hosting sites. And I'll tell you, all of these have different options from paid to free. And I think Podient right now is actually not doing the free stuff. But what it comes down to is they're all compared, but it comes down to bandwidth, storage, where they submit their RSS, analytics, and monetization. So you can have free options with all of these. And what bandwidth is how much you could put in and how many people can receive per month. And a lot of the free ones will limit that. For example, I think Buzzsprout limits it to 250 gigabytes a month, which for most of what we do is plenty. And if you think about, on average, 1 minute of listening and recording is about 1 megabyte of data. So once you start to grow your audience and your audience gets to be large, then you can look at some sort of paid option. I will say with Anchor, that Anchor is the one that Bevel and I use as well. It is unlimited bandwidth, unlimited storage, and as the other metric, submits it to Apple and to Google. So you have the bandwidth and then storage. Depending upon what your podcast will be, storage can range from 90 days to a cap at 250 gigs or unlimited. And that's kind of depending upon what you are. Some of them will only let you store it for 5 days, and then you have to pay $6 a month. But they all have programs that run from something small up to $30 a day. The analytics is what Bevel was talking about. It helps you to track who is watching and who is listening to your show, who's listening to your show. And that way you can help target audiences that are either falling or that you want to with specific shows as well. And the last one is monetization. If and when this becomes a full-time gig and you want to make money off of it, those offer different levels of interactions and different methods to help you monetize that as well. But you can easily find, for at least in the beginnings, the free sites to host some things for what you want and what you need.
What was that last one you mentioned, David? I didn't catch that one. After
Spreaker, Spreaker.
Yeah. We actually use Podbean, and we found it to be a great site. They have a free tier and and several paid tiers. And one of the cool things that we've been able to do with that is set it up to automatically change our audio that we upload into a video with a static image that gets put on YouTube. So that's one more distribution place that we have. And if your hosting site doesn't do analytics, Podbean does free as well, but there is, I just put it in here just a moment ago, a site called Chartable. Put it in the chat. It is it has a free tier that does just about everything you're going to need for analytics. And then they have a paid tier that just gives you some bells and whistles. And I found it to be a little more informative than the analytics I get from Podbean.
Podbean is also very good at tutorial videos and how to edit, how to content, how to do stuff. They have a really good support.
Yeah, and they also do allow you to do live podcast as well, which we haven't ventured into yet, but that's something that can look at if people are interested in doing that and risking their careers.
Right.